This is my introduction on workplace diversity. This is mainly about creating an exclusive environment and accepting everyone's individual differences. This enables employees to achieve their full potential as an outcome, and this allows an organisation to attain its full potential towards meeting its goals. If employees value each other's differences, then it allows them to contribute to them unique differences at an individual level. This can be an extreme positive and have a good impact on a workplace. As well as the general productivity of an organisation, it's extremely important for employees to know how to react to different emotional prompts or cues in a diverse workplace, in a manner that does not affect or infringe or offend the parties or the individuals involved, especially from a diversity point of view. In my presentation, I will be talking about a number of aspects of diversity at work, particularly focus on how to respond or react in a different emotional circumstances that can potentially emerge in a diverse workforce. To do this, I will firstly go over the importance of a diverse workforce of an organisation and look at the benefits of diversity at work. Secondly, I will be going over the aspects of stereotyping and prejudice, which are some of the key elements of the discrimination in a workforce. These can be the things about race, culture, age, sex, religion, and so on. These are mostly the things that can trigger emotional cues in a diverse workforce. I'll then go on about talking about Maslow's hierarchy and its needs, and in the importance of, in that way, how that can relate to team members in an important manner. At the end of my presentation, I'll briefly go over the active listening as one of the fundamental tactics that can be applied in responding to emotional prompts or situations that can emerge in a diverse workforce. In a workplace, diversity is not just a target, but it's something that most organisations want to achieve and will benefit from if they can achieve it. While it's important to improve an organisation's reputation, there are various importances and benefits of a diverse workforce that I'm going to go through now. A diverse workforce can improve and enhance creativity and innovation at a workplace. Employees will have different backgrounds and characteristics. For example, someone could be a Muslim and someone could be a Catholic, just an example of religion. It also means that their skills, experience and abilities are likely to be different as well, because they're from different backgrounds and different areas of the world. This means availability of a well-rounded team. It's also a great form of a learning perspective for people who are around people that they're not normally around. For example, if their friends are probably all from the same nature as themselves. This will enable someone at work to widen their experiences, learning and communication skills. As such, employees are more likely to come together and work more initiative and be better at creating ideas amongst each other. Moving on from my first point about productivity, if this is managed and looked over properly, a group of people from all different backgrounds and experiences can definitely use that to a positive effect. This is because all these different types of people are definitely going to have different types of skills and talents, which when merged together and put to good use can definitely increase productivity at work. Again, going over the point about culture, a diverse workforce definitely increases cultural awareness. This is because a general workforce is most likely to be composed of people with different cultural backgrounds and beliefs, and by having this, employees get the opportunity to learn and understand and interact with their colleagues and the people at work who may believe or worship something that they don't. As mentioned in my introduction, diverse workforce can improve the reputation of an organisation, which is very important. Companies and organisations that are dedicated to creating and building diversity as viewed in a far more positive way. This is obviously good for people like investors who maybe want to invest in a company that has a good name, and obviously potential employees who would feel more comfortable or would want to work for a company that are diverse in terms of reputation. And then obviously the most important one being customers. If the customer's happy using an organisation due to their diversity and their good reputation, then they're likely to do so. All of that increases an awareness in diversity, and obviously the key stakeholders and potential employees that are looking to work in line, again, are more inclined to indulge into these type of companies as opposed to a company that it hasn't got so much good reputation on diversity. Prejudice and stereotyping. Although these phrases or words can sometimes fall under the same category, they have different meanings. A stereotype is basically defined in literature as a thought that someone has about a specific type of individual that may or may not accurately reflect that person in reality. In other words, stereotypes are basically oversimplified generalization of a person or a group of people. They can be based on things like we mentioned before: race, gender, sex, religion, and other things as well. While they might have a positive stereotype, mostly or often they can be negative. As opposed to stereotyping, prejudice refers to the belief, thoughts, feelings, and attitudes someone holds about a person or group of people. It's not based on experience or found on experience, but it's a prejudgment starting from or originating from outside experience. An example of prejudice is racism, which is used to justify the belief that one racial category is somehow superior or inferior to others. In spite of the different meanings, stereotype and prejudice are not essentially good for a workplace that is diverse or wants to be diverse. This is because they create workplace discrimination, and obviously different types of groups, we don't want them to discriminate against each other. This can be because the fundamentally established institutions or inferiority and superiority in the workplace can definitely disrupt or create a negative environment and be bad on communication. It's really important to know and understand the meanings of these terms to move forwards and potentially addressing the problems that might occur in a diverse workplace, such as disruption of communication, which can, in the end result in prejudice and stereotyping in events that can happen at work. Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the definition. So by definition, the hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory of psychology comprising of a 5-tier model of human needs. This is often accepted as hierarchy levels within a pyramid. From the bottom of the hierarchy upwards, it includes psychological, safety, love and belonging needs, esteem and self-evaluation. The needs lower down in the hierarchy must be satisfied before the individual can attend the needs of the upper end of the pyramid. The pyramid, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, has been used by and employed by managers and team leaders in numerous workplaces, and the main target is to improve employee motivation by trying to meet the needs of their employees. While work is a place employees get their means of livelihood, for example, people might just go to work purely to put food on the table or cover the bills. Managers or leaders can potentially enhance the motivation of the employees by trying to provide the resources that meets their higher needs that they potentially lack, such as job security and safety. Doing this provides elements of feelings of insecurity though amongst the employees, as well as fear of losing their jobs, which is something detrimental to their motivation and overall productivity of an organisation. So if someone's basically kept on the toes, then they'll always be working to a good standard. The last point I'm going to go over is active listening. Active listening, just like problem solving And critical thinking skills. Active listening is an important skill that employees should consider having. By definition, active listening is a process by which an individual will acquire information from another individual or group of individuals. This basically involves listening with all senses as well as giving full attention to the speaker, since it's important that the listener is seen to be listening obviously to the person that's speaking and engaging in the conversation. Otherwise, the person who's talking, the speaker, can potentially make an assumption that while they're talking, the person they're talking to either isn't listening or is basically not interested in what they're saying. To be an active listener, the person who is actually listening needs to do 5 things that include paying attention, showing that he or she is obviously listening, provide feedback either before, during or after the conversation, and defer judgment. And that basically means allow the speaker to finish each point they're talking about before asking questions, so you don't want to jump in on the conversation, because then you'll basically come across as you know best, or you just want the conversation to finish. And then obviously at the end respond and respond to the conversation, and prove that you was engaged and you were listening throughout. And at the final point will be at the end, obviously throughout the conversation, avoid any distractions such as like your phone being on or having your earphone in, or just avoid any, and that will basically make the person talking feel uncomfortable or that you're not interacting with them. So just really focus and engage on the conversation.